is using the rigorous solution, and also we are going to evaluate the ABCD constant for long lines. Okay. So upon completion of this lecture, you can develop the performance equations for a long transmission line network, and you can also evaluate the ABCD parameters for long lines by using different methods. So let us see the performance of long line using the rigorous solution. Okay. So while analyzing the short as well as medium transmission line, so we were considered that the distributed transmission line to be lumped. Okay. So in medium transmission line, the resistance, inductance, and capacitance, all the three parameters are considered as the lumped parameters. Okay. So but our transmission line is a distributed network. Okay. Resistance, inductance, and capacitance are all are distributed uniformly throughout the length of the transmission line. Okay. So the calculations or analysis which we done for medium and short transmission lines is by using a lumped parameter. So those values are very near to the actual values, right? So but not the exact values. Okay. So now here, if the length of the transmission line going on increasing, so suppose if the length of the line is more than 250 kilometers, such type of lines are called long transmission lines, right? So for those long transmission lines, the analysis will not be done by using lumped parameters. Okay. For the analysis of this long transmission lines, you have to consider the transmission line to be distributed network itself, and we should not consider it as a lumped. Okay. Now, if you develop the schematic diagram for a long transmission line, it will be like this. So, which is shown in a figure. Okay. See here. So, in when the resistance and inductance and capacitance are uniformly distributed, so then for at each point, the resistance and inductance of the transmission line will be same. So, that means suppose if you are taking a length of the let L be the length of the total length of the transmission line. Now, throughout the length of the transmission line, all the three parameters, resistance, inductance, and capacitance are uniformly distributed. That means if you take at any point on the transmission line, so the resistance per length, resistance will be the same, resistance or inductance or capacitance. Okay. At any point on the transmission line, the resistance, inductance, and capacitance values will be the same. Okay. So now let us assume that a small z will be the series impedance per unit length. Okay. Suppose if you take one unit length, and small z will be the impedance for this unit length, right? In a similar manner, y, small y is the shunt admittance per unit length. Okay. So unit length, that unit length may be meter per meter or per kilometer. Okay. So now L here, let us assume length of the transmission line. Then, so capital Z is the total series impedance, which is equal to small z into L. Actually, small z is impedance per unit length. So if you multiply that with the total length of the transmission line, so then you will get the total series impedance. In a similar manner, Y is the total admittance for your transmission line, right? Which is equal to small y into L. Small y is the shunt admittance per unit length, and if it is multiplied with the total length of the transmission line, you will get the total admittance. Okay. So now here for analyzing the long transmission line network, so let us consider your receiving end as a reference. Okay. So your receiving end. So this end you consider it as a reference. Okay. So then after considering the receiving end as a reference, again consider a small differential length dx, so which is at a distance x meters from the reference end. Okay. So now you have to consider a small length dx, which is at a distance x meters from the reference end. So this is your reference end. Okay. At the reference end, the voltage is VR and current is IR. Okay. Now from this reference end, at a distance of x meters, okay, at a distance x meter, you consider a small differential length dx. Okay. So here you have a transmission line, and this receiving end we were considered it as a reference. Now from this reference, at a distance x meters, you have to consider a small length. Okay, small differential length. So which is we can represented with dx. Okay, small differential length dx you have to consider, which is at a distance of x meters from our reference end. Okay, so now for this length dx, what is your impedance and what your admittance, right? So here z is the total length. Okay, sorry, small z is a series impedance per unit length, right? So now for the length of dx, what will be the z value? So this will be small z into dx you will get. Okay, so to determine the impedance, series impedance for this small length, so that value, this length is dx, so impedance will be it's small z into dx you will get. In a similar manner, the admittance will be small y into dx. Okay, so here you see in the diagram, small y into dx is the admittance and small z into dx is the impedance for this differential length. Okay, right. So now here IR and VR are the voltage and current at the receiving end. Now at a point x here, so now the current flowing through the line will be Ix and voltage will be Vx. So as I said, so the impedance will be uniformly distributed. So from here receiving end to up to the point x at a distance x, so there may be some voltage drop. Okay, so let us assume here that at this point x, which is at this point, let it be p, at point p, which is at a distance x meter from the receiving end, so the voltage will be Vx, let us consider, and the current will be Ix. Okay, so now at this point after your differential length, so now this that means x plus dx length, so this point will be at a distance of x plus dx from the receiving end. Okay, so that receiving end we consider as a reference. Now at this point, let it call be q. At this point q, the voltage will be this voltage plus voltage drop across this impedance. Okay, that means Vx plus voltage drop across this small length dx will be let d into Vx. In the similar manner, Ix will be, sorry, current will be Ix plus d Ix. Okay, is it clear, ma? If you understand these parameters only, you can understand in the entire performance of the transmission line. Okay, I will again explain. You are going to consider the length of the transmission line. The length of the transmission line is L here. Now you are taking your receiving end as your reference. Okay, so from the reference end at a distance of x meters, you are going to consider one small differential length dx, right? So this is at a distance of x meters from the receiving end, right? So now here at the receiving end, voltage and current are VR and IR. Okay, so now here from here to here, you will be having the resistance as well as the admittance also. Resistance, inductance, capacitance parameters will be uniformly distributed throughout the length. So there will be some voltage drops in the line. So at this point, which is at a distance of x meter, so let us call it as Vx will be the voltage, right? And current will be your Ix. Okay, so for this small differential length dx, you will be having the impedance. Also, you will be having the admittance. Impedance is series parameter, admittance is shunt parameter. Okay, like this. So this is for small differential length dx. Okay, so here this side you are having the current of Ix, right? So And then this side here in center parameter there will be some current d into ix. Okay, for small differential length this d into x. So here will be it will be dix plus d d into ix. And voltage here at this point will be Vx plus drop across this series impedance. So drop across this will be, let we call it as d into Vx. Okay, change in voltage, right? And sending in voltage and current are Vs and Is. Okay, right. Right here. So now, as I said before, Vx is the voltage across the your differential length, right? Differential length is here. You will be having impedance Z here, Z into dx value. Small z into dx. Admittance is admittance here, and current this admittance value is y into dx. Okay, small y here, small y into dx. Okay, right. This is a differential length dx. Now voltage drop across this differential length will be equal to we call it as a dvx. So that dvx value is equal to, so now here current flowing through this dx, current flowing through the differential length dx, let it call it as dx, and impedance is z into dx. In similar manner, so d into ix can be written as voltage across this length, which is gx, and the admittance is y, small y into dx. Okay, so these are the two equations which are writing here. Okay, so dvx, so which is the voltage across the differential length dx. Dvx is equal to current flowing through that will be ix, and impedance is z into dx. And dix will be voltage into admittance, which is Vx is the voltage at a differential length dx, and y into dx is the admittance. Okay. So from these two equations, this equation can be written as, so dvx by dx is equal to z into ix. Okay, and this can be written as dix by dx is equal to y into vx. Okay. So let it call it as equation number 2 and equation number 1. Right, now differentiate the equation number 2 with respect to x again. So then when you differentiate this equation with respect to x, you will get d square for first equation. Not first equation you have to differentiate. So then d square vx by dx square is equal to z into dix by dx into z you will get. Okay, you are differentiating equation number 1 with respect to x again. Right, so now you will get d square vx by dx square is equal to dix by dx into z. Okay, so now this is a linear differential equation which is of second order. Okay, so that means you can write this as d square into, so dv by vx by dx square can be written as d square is equal to, right, sorry, here after writing this equation, in place of this dix by dx, you can write this value y into vx. Okay, so when you write y into vx in place of this dix by dx, then d square vx by dx square will become yz into vx. Right, so now this can be written as d square into yz like this. Okay, so in mathematics you have solved this type of linear differential equation. Okay, so we'll be having d square y by dx square plus dy by dx plus some constant c. So let it be equal to 0. Right? This can be written as d square plus, suppose if you are having a here, then this can be written as a into y is equal to minus c. Right? Sometimes your differential equation will be like this only. Okay. 1 minute. Here you will have c. Okay. D square y by dx square plus a into dy by dx can be written as d square plus a into y is equal to c. Okay. So now you can find out the roots for this equation. So you will get two roots as it is a second order equation. So you will get two roots. Let the roots will be called as c1 and c2. C1 and C2 are the roots of this quadratic equation, d square plus a. So then so the solution for this equation can be written as c1 into e power, sorry, roots are m, let you call it okay, no problem. So the solution for this equation can be written as m into e power c1x plus n into e power c2x is equal to your y. Okay. So or you can also represent when the roots, if you observe, if you say that roots are m1 m2, roots are m1 m2, so then your solution can be written as y is equal to capital C1. Your arbitrary constants, let it call as C1 e power m1x plus C2 e power m2x. Okay. So like this, you can develop the solution for this second order differential equation. In the similar manner to this, if you observe this equation, equation number 4, so this is also a second order differential equation. Okay. So this is d square vx by dx square is equal to yz into vx. So this can be written as d square vx by dx square minus yz into vx equal to 0. Okay. So now here this will be like a second order differential equation, so which is in the form d square minus yz. So let you call this yz as okay, no, into vx is equal to 0. Okay. So now the roots for this will be there are two roots. D square is equal to yz you will get. So which is nothing but d is equal to you will get two roots which are plus or minus square root of yz. Okay. So now let us call one root. One root will be m1, which is root yz, and another root m2 is equal to minus root yz. Okay. So now this root yz, let us call this as a gamma value. So let us call gamma as your root yz. So this will be minus gamma you will get. Okay. So now in such a case, so if you the solution for this equation now can be written as c1 into e power gamma x. Okay, m1 actually e power m1 x plus c2 into e power m2x. If you are having two roots, this is the solution. So which is equal to vx value. Okay, sorry for the disturbance. I got your call. Right. So here Vx solution of Vx will be C1 into e power m1x plus C2 into e power m2x. And m1 here is gamma and m2 is your minus gamma, and gamma is square root of yz. So this Vx can be written as C1 into e power gamma x plus C2 into e power minus gamma x. Okay. So like this you can develop the solution for your Vx. Okay, from this fourth equation. See you in the next slide. Okay, so as I said, equation 4 is a linear differential equation, right? And whose general equation can be written as Vx is equal to C1 into e power gamma x plus C2 into e power minus gamma x, and gamma here is root yz, and this gamma we can call it as propagation constant. Okay, you remember this, gamma is the propagation constant. So when the value of gamma is equal to root of small yz. Okay, small y small z. Okay, now here on C1 and C2 are the arbitrary constants. Now we have to evaluate these C1 and C2. Okay, so now to evaluate C1 and C2, first you differentiate the equation number 5, which is this Vx equation, with respect to x again. So now when you differentiate Vx with respect to x, this equation when you differentiate with respect to x, so then that will become equal to dVx by dx is equal to C1 into, when you differentiate this expression, d by dx of e power gamma x will become e power gamma x into gamma you will get. So when you differentiate that value, you will get gamma into e power gamma x. And when you differentiate this value, so then you will get e power minus gamma x into gamma. Gamma here is minus gamma. Okay. So this second term will become minus C2. So here we are having minus term. So minus C2 gamma into e power minus gamma x you will get. Okay. So when you differentiate 50 equation, you will get this equation. Okay. dVx by dx is equal to C1 gamma e power gamma x minus C2 gamma e power minus gamma x. So now what is this dVx by dx? As we developed the equation for dVx by dx, so that dVx by dx, so this value is equal to small z into ix.
already
Okay, right? So in place of dVx by dx, you can write this small z into ix. Okay, so see here. So in place of this equation is equal to small z into ix, so which is equal to this total value. So from this ix can be written as, ix will be written, this z will come this side, right? So ix will be equal to C1 by, I will write here. So from this ix can be written as C1 by, C1 gamma by small z into e power gamma x minus C2 gamma by small z into e power minus gamma x will get. Okay. So now what is gamma here? Gamma is root yz. Okay, this value. Okay, gamma is root yz. So this value is root yz. Now gamma by z, how you can write? If you say gamma by z, this will become root yz by z. Okay. So now this z, when it go inside the root, so then this will become small yz by z square you will get. Okay, 1z will get cancelled. So then, so this gamma by small z can be written as root of y by z, small y by small z. Okay, so in place of this gamma by z, in place of this gamma by z, you can write root of small y by z you can write. Okay, so see here, you will be having here Okay, sorry guys, my internet connection is suddenly disconnected. So what is the equation? Here, what you will get? Ix is equal to C1 into under square root in place of gamma by z. What you have developed? This will be small y by z into e power gamma x, okay, minus C2 into under square root small y by z into e power minus gamma x you will get. Okay. So the equations what we have developed, those were erased due to internet problem. So now I'm writing the final equation, next equation, which is Ix is equal to C1 into under square root y by z e power gamma x minus C2 into under square root y by z e power minus gamma x. Now here, this term, for this term, let us define one small z, sorry, capital ZC. Okay. Let us define ZDC, which is called the characteristics impedance. So this value is under square root z by y. Okay. So now, so ZC is under square root z by y. So then 1 by ZC will be 1 by ZC is equal to under square root small y by z you will get. Okay. So now in place of this small y by z, you can write 1 by ZC. So then you will get this equation. Ix is equal to C1 by ZC e power gamma x minus C2 by ZC e power minus gamma x. Okay. So here ZC value is under square root small z by small y. This is characteristic impedance of the line. Okay. Right. Again, here you have to, as I said before, you have to determine the values of C1 and C2, which are the arbitrary constraints. Right. To determine C1 and C2, you have to assume some initial conditions. Okay. Now, when x is equal to 0, so x is, what is x here? The length of the transmission. So if you observe the transmission line, so the total length of the transmission line is, of course, it is L. Right, and at the receiving end we were considered it as a reference end, and from reference end to at a distance x you are considered a small differential length dx. Okay, so now at this length dx the voltage is Vx and current is Ix. Okay, so the equations what we were developed here is Vx and Ix, which are voltage and current at a distance of x meters from the receiving end. Okay, so you see previous slide. So we were developed the voltage and current equations which are at a distance of x meters. So that Vx is C1 into e power gamma x plus C2 into e power minus gamma x. Okay, so this Vx is the voltage at the a point which is at a meters x meters from the receiving end. Okay. So and for Ix also, Ix is this equation. Ix is equal to C1 by ZC e power gamma x minus C2 by ZC e power minus gamma x. Okay. Here gamma is root yz, which is called the propagation constant, and ZC is the root small z by y. So this is called the characteristic impedance of the line. So for these two lines, if you observe these two lines, you are having the constants C1 and C2. So now you have to evaluate these C1 and C2 values. Okay. So now to evaluate this C1 and C2 values, now you have to consider the receiving end terminal values. Okay. At the receiving end, what is the x value? Here is this is the receiving end. At receiving end, you are having the voltage as VR and current as IR. Okay. So that means receiving end, at the receiving end, the value of x will become equal to 0. Okay. So at the receiving end, so the value of x, this x value will become equal to 0 at the receiving end. Now, when value of x is equal to 0, so then what about Vx? so that Vx will become equal to Vr, and Ix will become equal to IR. Okay, at the receiving end, so your X value is 0, so Vx will become equal to Vr and Ix will become equal to IR. Okay, right. Now you substitute these values, Vx is equal to Vr, Ix is equal to IR, and X is equal to 0 in these two equations, 5 and 7 equation. Okay, so this X is equal to 0, Vx is equal to Vr, Ix is equal to IR. So you have to substitute in equation number 5 and 7. So then what you will get, the Vx will become Vr. So Vr is equal to C1. If this X is 0, so e power gamma X will become 0 again. Sorry, 1. E power gamma X will be e power 0, which is 1. So Vr is equal to C1 plus C2, and IR is equal to C1 by ZC minus C2 by ZC you will get. Okay. See here. So when you substitute X is equal to 0, and in place of Vx, if you substitute Vr, so that equation number 5 will become Vr is equal to C1 plus C2, and equation number 7 will become IR is equal to 1 by ZC, 1 by ZC into C1 minus C2 you will get. Okay. So from this equation, you can write C1 minus C2 is equal to IR into ZC. IR into ZC. Okay. So now from this equation C1 plus C2 is VR. From this equation C1 minus C2 is equal to IR into ZC. Now if you solve these two equations, so this equation and this equation, so then you will get the values of C1 and C2, and the value of C1 is 1 by 2 VR plus ZC into IR, and C2 value is 1 by 2 into VR minus ZC into IR. Okay. You solve these two equations, these equations and equation, you will get the C1 and C2. If you add those two values, you will get first C2 will get cancelled. So 2C1 is equal to VR plus IR into ZC you will get. So that is C1 will be, so this Z will become this side. Okay, this ZC. Okay, so then, sorry, this is 2, not a Z. So this will be VR by 2 plus IR ZC by 2. So the final value is C1 is equal to 1 by 2 into VR plus ZC by R. So now if you substitute this value in this equation, you will get C2 value, which is 1 by 2 into VR minus ZC into IR. Okay. So after getting the values of C1 and C2, you can substitute this C1 and C2 in equation number 5 and 7. Okay. So which are Vx and Ix. So equation number 5 and 7, you substitute the values of C1 and C2. So then if you substitute the values of C1 and C2, in place of C1 you have to consider VR plus ZC into IR by 2, and in place of C2 VR minus ZC into IR by 2. Now equation number 5 and 7 will become equation number 9 and 10. Okay. Vx values and Ix. What is Vx and Ix? Vx and Ix are the voltage and current which are at a distance of x meters from the receiving end. Okay. So now if you observe these equations, here you are having the VR, here you are having the VR, here you are having the IR, here you are having the IR. So now you take the common, VR as common and IR as common. So then Okay, right? So now you take VR and IR as common, then what you will get, the equation 9 and from 9 and 10, you will get these equations. Okay, so Vx value, if you take VR as common, so this then this Vx value will become VR into e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x by 2 plus IR into ZC e power gamma x minus e power minus gamma x by 2. Okay, so let you call it as equation number 11. In the similar manner, in Vx, you get IR as common. Okay, so now equation number 10 now will become equation number 12, which is Ix is equal to VR into 1 by ZC e power gamma x minus e power minus gamma x by 2 plus IR into e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x by 2. Okay, so now if you observe these 11 and 12 equation, so what is this e power gamma x minus e power minus gamma x by 2, right? So this e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x by 2, so this can be written as a cos h of x, hyperbolic function. Okay, cos h of x here is gamma x, so this will be cos h of gamma x. Okay, so you would have studied in mathematics, cos hx can be written as e power x plus e power minus x by 2. So in a similar manner, sin hx is equal to e power x minus e power minus x by 2. So this is 2, not z. Okay, so from these hyperbolic equations, now these can be written as, so now here in place of x you are having gamma x, so this can be written as cos h of gamma x, and this can be written as sin h of gamma x. Okay, in a similar manner, in 12th equation also, this is, so here you will get plus, here you will get minus. Okay, sorry, okay, right. So IR here, IR we are writing before, so here IR into cos gamma x plus in place of this you are getting a sin h gamma x. Okay, so if there is e power gamma x plus e power minus gamma x by 2, so then that equation can be written as cos of h into gamma x. If it is e power gamma x minus e power minus gamma x by 2, so this is sin h of gamma x. Okay, so now this equation number 11 can be written as this equation. Okay, Vx is equal to VR into cos gamma x plus IR into ZC sin gamma x, sin h gamma x. So in a similar manner, equation 12 can be written as Ix is equal to IR into cos gamma x. This we have written initially, right? IR into cos gamma x, VR into 1 by ZC sin h gamma x. Okay, right. So now when x is equal to 0, so that Vx value is VR and Ix value is IR. Okay, so but when if you consider x is equal to L, that Vx will be equal to Vs and Ix will become equal to Is. Okay, so in a transmission line network, as you are taking the receiving end as your reference, at the receiving end you are having VR and IR. Okay, so now at a distance x meter you consider a differential length. So now at a distance x meters, your voltage is Vx and current is Ix. Okay, now we will develop the equations for these Vx and Ix. So these Vx and Ix equations are these. Okay, so Vx is the voltage at a distance of x meters from the receiver. X is the current which is at a distance y meters from the receiving end. Now if x becomes 0, so then this VR will become equal to, sorry, Vx will become equal to VR and Ix will become equal to IR. Okay, so now when x will become equal to L, So which is total length of the transmission line. So that means at this point you will be having Vs and Is. Okay, so that means Vx will become Vs and Ix will become Is. Now you substitute these in above equations. Okay, so then in place of Vx you have to write Vs value. So Vs is equal to Vr into cos h gamma. In place of x you will have to write L. Okay, so Vs is equal to Vr into cos h gamma L plus Ir into Zc sin h gamma L you will get. Okay, and in similar manner if you substitute in place of Ix is Is, so then Is is equal to Ir into cos h gamma L plus Vr into 1 by Zc sin h gamma L you will get. Okay, so now these are the sending end voltage and current equations for long transmission line. Okay. So now if we represent those two equations in the matrix form, so this can be represented as equation number 5. So VSIS vector is equal to cos h gamma L into Zc into sin h gamma L 1 by Zc sin h gamma L cos h gamma L into VR IR. Okay, so this is in matrix form. Okay, now you can relate this equation number 15 with the general standard equation, so which is VSIS is equal to ABCD VRIR. So now if you compare 15 and 16 you will get A and D both are equal, which is equal to cos h gamma L, and B is Zc into sin h gamma L, and C is 1 by Zc into sin h gamma L. Okay, so these are the ABCD constants for your long transmission line. Okay, so from this seventh equation it is clear that A and D is both are equal, which is cos h gamma L. Okay, so that means when A is equal to D, you can say that the transmission line network is a symmetric network. If we calculate AD minus BC, that value will become equal to 1. So you can say that transmission line network is a reciprocal network. Okay, right? So now you can find the values of this Vs and Vr, sorry, Vs and Is when you know the values of Vr and Ir and parameters of the transmission line network. Parameters mean resistance, inductance, and capacitance values. Okay, so by using 13th and 14th equation, if you know Vr and Ir as well as your transmission line parameters, you can calculate the Vs and Is. Suppose if you know the VSIS values, then you can also calculate the VRIR. Okay, by inverting this 16th equation. Okay, so when you invert the 16th equation, so then you will get VRIR. So VRIR is equal to, you have to take inverse for this matrix, ABCD matrix. Right, when you take inverse for this ABCD matrix, which is a 2 by 2 matrix, so then that inverse is equal to 1 by AD minus BC. 1 by AD minus BC is, it will be equal to 1. So, and these two are interchange. Okay, so D, A, these two are interchange, and for this you will get minus sign. So the inverse for ABCD will be D minus B. So by this can be written as VR is equal to D into Vs minus B into Is, and IR is minus C into Vs plus A into Is. So that means if you know the values of Vs and Is, you can calculate VR and IR by using this equation. Okay, so if you are given VR and IR in the given problem, so then you can calculate the Vs and Is by using this. Okay, 15th equation or 16th equation, where 16th equation ABCD parameters are given in equation number 7. Okay, so this is the how you can model the long transmission line. Okay, right, for this transmission line you can also determine the efficiency and voltage regulation in the similar manner as the medium and short transmission lines. Okay, so voltage regulation is change in voltage from no load to full load, which is expressed as a fraction of full load. Okay, right. So efficiency is your power output by power input. Okay, while doing the problems, we will discuss how to calculate the voltage regulation and efficiency for long transmission line. Okay, for now you remember these. Okay, ABCD constants. If you observe ABCD constants, A value is cos h gamma L and B value is ZC sin h gamma L. So in the hyperbolic functions sin h and gamma h, you are having gamma that is a complex number. Okay, so if you want to evaluate the A value, A is equal to cos h gamma L. So what is gamma here? It is a characteristic impedance which is equal to small y into small z. Now this small y and small z both are the complex numbers. Okay, so here cos of this is a complex number. That means your gamma value is a complex number. You have to evaluate cos h of your complex number. Okay, cos h of complex number you cannot evaluate directly by using your calculator. Okay, so you have to check for some methods for evaluating this constant ABCD constant. Okay, so if you observe all the parameters A, B, C, D, cos h of gamma L you are having. Cos h of gamma here is a complex number. Okay, so you cannot evaluate this cos h gamma L directly by using calculator. In a similar manner, sin h gamma L also you cannot evaluate directly. Why? Because your gamma is a complex number. Okay, so for this to calculate ABCD parameters, you have some methods. Okay, what are the methods which we use for determining the ABCD constant for your long transmission line? Right. So let us evaluate the ABCD constants for long transmission line. As I said before, your gamma value is a complex number. Okay. So now let us assume that that complex number will be in the form of alpha plus j beta. Okay, we are assuming that. So this gamma is equal to root yz, which is a complex number. So that complex number we are assuming as alpha plus j beta. Okay, cos h gamma L can be written as cos h into, in place of gamma you are writing alpha plus j beta, so that will become cos h into alpha plus j beta L. So in a similar manner, sin h gamma L can be written as sin h, in place of gamma if you substitute alpha plus j beta, so then we get sin h gamma, alpha L plus j beta L. Okay, so now if you see these two expressions, so this will be like cos h a plus b, sin h a plus b. Okay, so from the trigonometric expressions, hyperbolic expression, cos h a plus b can be written as cos a plus cos b plus j sin a plus sin b. Okay, so here a is alpha L and b is j beta L. Okay, this can be written as cos a cos b plus sin a sin b. Okay, here a is alpha L and b is j beta L. So now this equation now become cos h into a value is alpha L and cos h into j beta L will get cos h j beta L. So now cos h j beta L can be written as cos beta L. Okay, cos h beta L can be written as cos beta L, and sin h beta j beta L, sin h of complex number, so j beta L, this can be written as j into sin h beta L. Okay, so when it is cos h j beta L, this will become equal to cos beta L, and sin h j beta L can be written as j into sin h beta L. Okay, so here in the second expression, cos beta, which is cos h j beta L, so that can be written as cos beta L. Okay, so plus, so now here sin a sin b you are having next term, right? Sin a means nothing but a here is alpha L, so sin beta L, sin alpha L, and sin b is nothing but sin j beta L. Sin h j beta L can be written as j sin beta h beta L. So here in the second term you will get the j into sin beta L you will get. Okay, so in a similar manner, sin h into alpha sin h alpha L plus j beta L also can be written as sin h alpha L cos beta L. Right? How you can write one? Sin h of a plus b. You remember the equation. Okay, sin h of a by b can be written as sin h a sin h b. Sorry, sin h a cos hb minus cos ha okay, and a and b are a is equal to alpha L and b is equal to j beta L. Okay, sorry, here also I think plus 1, right? So now if you substitute in place of a alpha L and in place of b j beta L, and by using these two, so which is the cos h j beta L is equal to cos beta L, sin h j beta L is equal to j sin h beta L. So the final equation for sin h alpha L plus j beta L can be written as this. So which is equal to sin h alpha L into cos beta L plus j into cos h alpha L sin beta L. Okay. So now here all the terms are the real numbers only. Okay. So like this you can calculate the, so you can evaluate the ABCD constants. Okay. So now these two are the real numbers only. So you can evaluate ABCD parameters by using the equations which are represented in 17 equation. Okay. So by using these equation, cos h gamma L ZC. So by using this equation, you can evaluate ABCD parameters after evaluating this. Okay. This is the one method. Okay. So now if you go to the second method, this cos h gamma L and sin h gamma L can be written as like this. 1 plus cos h gamma L can be written 1 plus gamma square L square by 2 factorial plus gamma power 4 L power 4 by 4 factorial plus on this on. So sin h gamma L can be written as gamma L into, sorry, gamma L plus gamma 3 L3, so gamma cubed L cubed by 3 factorial plus gamma power 5 L5 by 5 factorial and so on. Okay. I think you know this. So cos h x, cos h x can be written as 1 plus x square by 2 factorial. So these all equations are from mathematics. Okay. Plus on so on. Okay, you are using this. So in a similar manner, if you write for sin h x, it will be x plus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x power 5 by factorial and so on you will get. Right? In place of x, you are going to take gamma L. Okay. These expressions, the higher order terms can be generally neglected, very small values. So those can be neglected. Okay. Now this can be, if you consider the first gamma square L square by 2 factorial. Okay. So the gamma here is the root yz, root small y small z whole square you will get gamma square L square by 2. Okay. So from this, so gamma square, in place of gamma you are going to substitute root yz. Okay. Now suppose if this root yz now become as it is having square, so this can be written as yz L square by z. Now this also can be written as y into L small z into L by 2. 2 factorial is nothing but 2 factorial is nothing but 2 only. Okay. So now this small y into L is the capital Y and small z L into L is the capital Z. Okay. Total impedance and total admittance of the transmission line. So this total expression 1 plus gamma square L square by 2 factorial now can be approximately written as 1 plus yz by 2. Okay. In a similar manner, so here also you consider only the first two terms, so neglect the higher order terms, which are those values if you evaluate this will be a very small value. So you consider only the first two terms. Okay. So again, in place of yz, gamma, in place of gamma, you have to substitute yz, okay, which is small letters, under square root yz. Okay. So now here we are having gamma L. So that gamma L can be written as, so under square root y small z. So now this L, when it goes to inside the square root, this will become L square. Okay. So now this again can be written as under square root of small y into L into small z into L. So that means gamma L can be written as under square root capital Y into capital Z. Okay. So capital Y into capital Z, you can write. This is the gamma L value. Okay. So now this first two terms, what you will get, root YZ, root capital Y capital Z in case of gamma L, plus, so gamma cube L cube you are having, right? So that can be written as gamma L into gamma L whole square, you can write. Okay. Or first you take the gamma L in these two equations. So instead of calculating like that, first you take the common gamma L. So then you can written it as 1 plus gamma L whole square by 3 factorial is 6. Okay. Now in place of gamma L, you can substitute this under square root capital Y capital Z, right? So then that sin h gamma L will become under square root gamma y into z is into 1 plus, in place of gamma L again y into z by 6. Okay. In place of gamma L, you have to substitute this value under square root y by z. As it is having a square here, that square and square root will get cancelled. You will get capital YZ by 6. Okay. So this is about the how you can evaluate the cos h gamma L and sin h gamma L. Right. After knowing cos h gamma L and sin h gamma L, so if you substitute those these two in your ABCD parameters here in 17 equation, so A is equal to D, which is cos h gamma L. B is equal to ZC into sin h gamma L. C is equal to 1 by ZC sin h gamma L. Here in place of cos h gamma L and sin h gamma L, you substitute these values. Okay. In place of cos h gamma L, 1 plus YZ by 2. In place of sin h gamma L, you have to substitute root YZ into 1 plus YZ by 6. So then ABCD constant can be written as A is equal to D, which is approximately equal to cos h gamma L, which is 1 plus YZ by 2. So and B is Z into 1 plus YZ by 6, you will get sin h gamma L. Okay. And C you will get Y into 1 plus YZ by 6. Okay. So if you substitute these two equations in the 17th equation, you can calculate the ABCD constant. Okay. So now by using these equations, you will get the approximately accurate values for transmission lines which are up to 400 to 500 kilometers. Okay. And the method 3 is simple. Okay. 2 minutes I will take. Okay. So in method 3, so this cos h gamma alpha L plus j beta L. So as I said, cos hx can be written as e power x plus e power minus x by 2. Okay. So here x is the alpha L plus j beta L. So that can be written as e power x. That means e power alpha L plus j beta L. That can be written as e power alpha L into e power j beta L. In the similar manner, e power minus x can be written as e power minus alpha L into e power minus j beta L by 2 here. Okay. So 1 by 2 if you take outside, so e power alpha L. So this can be written, e power j beta L can be written as at an angle of beta L. Okay. So if you are having a into e power x, e power jx, so this can be written as a at an angle x. So in a similar manner, e power alpha L into e power j beta L can be written as e power